In the early 1970s, Volkswagen customers requested that a rally, a sporty version of the Beetle was made, but of course, Mr. Nordhoff and Mr. Lutz said no, 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 no. It wasn't until Christmas of 1972 when Mr. Lading said, let's produce a limited amount of special cars. The result was the Gelb Schwarz Renner, or in English, a yellow-black racer. It is the new Beetle, the second generation that is, and it's based on the turbo version that shares most of its parts with the Golf GTI. But on top of that, it has a lot of R-Line elements and the GSR package on top of that. Once again, only 3,500 units will be produced, and to put one on your driveway, you'll need to spend $33,635, while adding the DSG gearbox in the technology package raises the price to $36,125, which is precisely what our tester was going for. Despite the steep price, you still have to manually control your AC and adjust your seat. You do get a reassuring 6-pack of airbags, anti-lock brakes, traction and stability control, power mirrors and windows, a wicked Fender audio system with a connector for last year's iPod, automatic bi-xenon headlights, ambient lighting with 3 color options, keyless entry with a start button, Bluetooth, navigation, satellite radio, cruise control, heated side mirrors and front seats, trip computer, fog lamps, 19-inch rims, and a limited edition serialized number plate on the R-Line flat-bottom steering wheel. Built in Puebla, Mexico, the second generation new Beetle is better to drive, better built, and much nicer to look at than the previous attempt. The design lines are cleaner, sharper, and the new car has a more appealing stance. It may still be more desirable amongst women, but the GSR tries to set itself apart and get noticed by the boys. Inside the eccentric cabin, the polished trim bits try to simulate the painted bare metal surfaces on the classic Beetle, while the dash looks like the modern version of the classic too. The instrument cluster and top glove compartment are the most characteristic vintage elements found throughout the cabin, till you notice the holy shit handles in the back that are loop handles, just like in the classic. To make your drive exciting, there's a trio of gauges on the top of the dash that show you the oil temperature, turbo boost, and a stopwatch for keeping track of your lap times. Unfortunately, the materials used inside are as sophisticated as they were in the classic. They're all hard plastic with pointy joints, not very impressive once you start feeling them out. Fit and finish could have also been a bit better. The bright side is that the simple design brings great ergonomics and the driving position is well suited to the car. The seats are excellent and the 2 lucky ones in the front have a very airy and fun environment to settle in. The rear seats are mostly there for kids, pets, or bags. Try to fit an adult back there and be prepared to hear some R-rated words in return. At least the trunk is a decent size, 310 liters, and you can fold those otherwise useless seats to create even more space. Don't go opening the hood and expect to find space for eggs or milk, because under the hood, there's the 2-liter TSI 4-cylinder engine that outputs more than 4 times the power of the classic. At 210 horsepower and 207 pound-feet of torque, it is more than capable to make this little car a Renner for real. Weighing a mere 1,422 kilos, the awesome 6-speed DSG transmission can get this little bug to 100 kilometers an hour in just 6.7 seconds, but with a drag coefficient of 0.37, top speed is rather lower than expected. But so is the fuel consumption. It may require premium unleaded, but on our lead foot week, it used an average of 9.9 liters per 100 kilometers. That is not bad at all. Now, usually when a hot hatch comes with sport suspension, it means that on the course of the next couple of weeks, you're going to be swallowing a couple of your tooth fillings. But this one here is a bit different. It actually feels like it does have a little bit of suspension. Over rough tarmac, it tries to absorb the impact, and for a sporty little car, the end result is rather good. The higher the speed, the smoother it gets, so drive it like it was meant to be driven for best results. The steering feels a little bit slow, but that's probably because our tester is currently on winter tires. On the other hand, the brake pedal is very spongy and there is no excuse for that. At least the brakes performed really well in our 100 to 0 kilometers an hour test, as 40 meters was all it took to complete the stop. The paddle shifters are perfect for the occasion and make up for the other two. Great seat, great steering, great gearbox, an amazing XDS front differential, and yes, this little racer can go around corners with poise, confidence, and speed. The stability control is always on, so having too much fun is not really allowed, but in general, having a blast in this insect of a car is achieved by definition. The funny thing is that they've added a sound generator to this car that produces the sound of a boxer engine to kind of make it feel like the old classic. Listen to this. Now, back in the day, the reason to buy a Beetle was because it was affordable and quite fun. Today, the sole reason to buy one is because you want one. The GSR especially is kind of pricey, and as a car I would probably recommend you getting the more practical Golf GTI it is based on. It might indeed become a classic someday and retain or increase its value, making it worth buying, but till then the choice is yours.